Johnny Wimbrey. Oh my goodness, From the Hood to Doing Good. If you haven't read that book, Johnny and I met many years ago when I got to speak at Success University, where I think he was the international training director and number one, I think, recruiter, whatever else, income earner and so forth. And then went to work with another company for many years and just broke records there. And now started with another company, and I'm sure he's probably broken records already, if not will. But he's been traveling around the world. He's been just incredible encouragement. His story, again, from the hood to doing good, it's just been incredible, impactful to people. His beautiful wife, Crystal, and his family. He's a beautiful family, a man of faith. And he teaches and speaks on all about coaches and training and education, sales and leadership, overcoming adversity. You may have seen him on the Steve Harvey Show. You may have seen him on NBC or ABC or Fox News or the Today Show. But Johnny Wimbrey is an incredible gentleman, and his business has been increasing every year, year after year. I think I heard him say for like 15 years or more. And so you're going to hear with great delight. Make sure you have something to write on and something to write with. Johnny Wimbrey, take it away, my brother. Oh, wait a minute. Here's Johnny.
Man, I appreciate that incredible introduction. I got to take Dr. Stan everywhere I go, man. You got me sitting in my car right now, getting ready to take my son to school, but I got you got my full attention, man. I'm hyped. I'm jacked out of my mind after that introduction. Definitely an honor and a pleasure to be on the show, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, we appreciate you and all the things you've done. So tell us a little bit about, we got folks on this line, they're leaders, they're entrepreneurs, some of them going through some adversity and so forth. And I just wanted them to get a taste of Johnny, because I know we got just a short time here, but just pour some nuggets into them. I know you've been mentored by some of the best, Les Brown, Bishop Jakes, and others, and you have been a mentor to many as well, and continue to grow. And so what are some of the things that really helped you to enjoy this life by the grace of God?
Man, I think you and I met about 15 years ago, probably a little bit more than that. And when you met me, I was in the mindset of increase. Every day, I wake up. That's my mantra, is increase. I believe that's the way God wired us to be. Nobody teaches us to want to learn how to talk or want to learn how to crawl or walk. It's something that's innate. It's something that we automatically subscribe to without permission. And that's something that I have made a part of my life, understanding that God has created and called us to increase. And, I'm like a sniper, Dr. Stan. I'm a sniper in position every day, looking through that scope. And that I call that scope increase, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, as a father, as a husband, whatever it is. There's always room for advancement. And I think the trick of the enemy is when he can convince us that we arrive. And my point of sharing all this with you, I'm 45 today. I just turned 45 on Sunday. I feel exactly the same way I felt mentally the day I met you. Is there's still breakthrough that has to happen. I'm not where I need to be. And I really believe, if you're listening to me right now, I don't care how accomplished you are. I don't care what you've accomplished in life or the lack of. You are not where you can be in life right now. You may be experiencing life like I think I'm experiencing life. I'm a multi-millionaire, and a lot of times people will describe success as what you have in your bank account or what your assets are. And that can be the biggest trick of the enemy as well, because true success comes from within. I'm also a celebrity life coach, and I work with a lot of high profile people around the world that I coach off the record. And there are people that you see on TV that, we love them more than they love themselves. And that is not success. Success, has multiple ingredients. Wealth has multiple ingredients. One of the ingredients, Dr. Stan, one is money. It's only one. It's like me saying chocolate cake. If I say chocolate cake, I'm talking about sugar, but I'm not saying sugar. So when I talk about success, I'm talking about money, but I'm not just talking about money. My earliest memory in life was living in a battered women's shelter. The first thing I remember about me was being homeless because my father was an abusive alcoholic. So that was my introduction to life. I made a lot of bad decisions. in life. Of course, there are things that happened to me that wasn't my fault. But the truth is, Dr. Stan, there are things that happened to me because of what I allowed to happen in me, and that's my fault. I take full responsibility, playing in the streets, selling drugs, having a felony arrest as a teenager. I take full responsibility of all those bad decisions, but it's something that I subscribe to and I take ownership of it. The book From the Hood to Doing Good, it's for real. It's not a story on my life, but you learn a lot about the principles that I use in my life to overcome things in my life, if you will.
Powerful,
I know it's a long
man.
answer,
Powerful.
but you know me, brother. We go a long way.
Oh man, yes. I never forget we were in the UK. I don't know, you had me dragging out somewhere. Doc, let's go. That late at night, I was like, dude, man, ain't even close to bedtime. I was like, man, I'm young, man. Let's go out.
Man.
I think we were speaking.
Hey.
We were speaking at an event with Les and the guy Cal Pash, something like that.
Cal
Anyway.
Patel.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. So, man, you also so the success you have in network marketing, and but also it crosses over to coaching, also crosses over to being an author and all these different things. So help people understand, because again, obviously some people, they try to do too many things at one time and get messed up, but then other people, they just think if they can just do one thing, that's it. So I guess that increase. Tell us a little bit about what allows you to do multiple things.
That's a really good question. That's a very advanced question, actually. And the answer that I'm going to give, you can receive this answer on whatever level that you're at, because I'm going to talk to you as if you are at the top, and I'm going to answer the question as if you're someone who's fighting to get to the top. So anybody at the top and anybody else who wants to get there can subscribe, to this answer. We read the book, Multiple Streams of Income, and people got super excited about that book and got super excited about the concept and the theory. And I 100% believe in the concept. But a lot of people read it not understanding the concept. Multiple streams of income is amazing. I have multiple streams of income while I'm speaking to you right now, but there is one source that pays for my entire lifestyle. That's the key. You've got to participate and really subscribe to that source, that it's feeding your entire lifestyle, and then you start adding other sources. For me, my personality type, I'm easily distracted. I mean, I drive people crazy because
you too?
I can plan a conference. I can plan a conference call like this in 30 minutes, and it drives the world crazy. But that's just how my mind is. I'm like, I want to do it in 30 minutes. Well, Johnny, you got to promote for it. No, I want to do it in 30 minutes. That's just my personality type. It drives people crazy. But I know me. I know what works for me. You got to know what works for you. And if you can't, be building a business and get distracted with an investment, and you swing the pendulum so far that you left your passion to babysit, this fascination or this infatuation, you're going to find yourself in a situation of starting over again and again and again. Everything that I do feeds my passion. I chose the network marketing industry, number one, because like you, Dr. Stan, I have spoken pretty much in any environment of entrepreneurialism that you can imagine, from stockbrokers to day traders to, real estate investors, flipping house. I mean, any seminar that you have seen that has come to town, I have shared stages with those people in some shape, form, or fashion in the world. Here's what I realized, Dr. Stan. I realized being the guy on stage, and I'm watching people walk up and spend $50,000 to $100,000, and this is not an exaggeration, starting to implement an education process into a new industry. And I know me, that there was a time in my life that I would have been excited at the seminar, but I would have to walk out depressed because I couldn't afford to spend that. So the reason I chose network marketing is the only industry I know on the planet that gives everybody, the same level of start. You can't walk into Mary Kay and say, hey, I've got $100,000 to invest. Can you put me at the top? It's not how network marketing works. You create your top. Now, if I'm in real estate and you're in real estate, Dr. Stan, you have $1 million to invest. I have $100,000 to invest. We're in the same industry, but we're not playing in the same game. You're in the
Right.
major leagues. I'm in the minor leagues. That's why I love network marketing. And network marketing, everybody starts off on the same level. The reason I chose network marketing is because it feeds the beast in me. And the beast is I love to empower people. I love to have a captive audience of individuals that I'm mentoring. But I'm not just mentoring them, I'm mentoring them under the same umbrella that I'm being mentored. See, there's power in that. When people call me to be their life coach and they're in an industry that I'm not familiar with, it doesn't mean I can't coach them. But those people are typically already successful in their umbrella, so it's easier for me to coach them because they know what their passion is. They just want to be fixed in the air. They want that tune-up. I could do that. But more
Right.
so, you'll find people who want coaching in what they do. Well, you'd be lying to people if you say, I'm a coach that can help you do whatever you want to do. It's not true. I can mentally help you with whatever you want to do because the mental principles worked in anywhere. Like if I can show you how to lose weight, I can show you how to lose cigarettes. I mean, quit smoking cigarettes. It's the exact same principles. It's the exact same mindset. But I can't claim to be an expert of somebody who teaches you how to quit smoking cigarettes. So I choose network marketing because I can be the expert. I've made over $30 million in network marketing. I've created over 30 millionaires in network marketing. Over 20 of them have been in my team. So I love that industry because I could teach you based on what I know and what I've done. But my origination of starting the industry was because I wanted to create a captive audience, a captive following while I'm teaching and coaching people to do what I've done. And that was my beginning start, but it's evolved to what it is today. And I don't know another industry where people can start on the same level for the same price.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Awesome. Powerful. And so, Johnny, so how do you deal with, obviously people in these other industries, when they find out, wait a minute, the guy's in network marketing. Johnny, a guy's so talented, a guy with such speaking ability. Why would you I get that all the time. But some people on this line, they haven't had the success in other areas, right? And so they're a little intimidated by when people kind of breach that subject with them. So how do you deal with that when people kind of, try to put that crunch on you, like, Johnny, network marketing, really?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna give you an extreme answer so everybody understands it. I have lost television deals. I believe I have. They've never told me, but I believe I have lost television opportunities because I'm in network marketing. And I've been called by the Kardashians twice to be a life coach. One of them to Lamar Odom, and one of them to Scott Disick when he was, when Courtney was pregnant for the very first time. I was called to do some life coaching for both of them, and both of them fell through. One, because Courtney went into labor 2 weeks early, and the second one, Lamar just was not open. He was not open, and I was going to coach him about getting rid of freeloading friends, and I was going to be on the show. And I believe because I was in network marketing, after doing research, they saw what my passion was, and because the negative vibe that people have subscribed to in network marketing has caused me to lose opportunities. However, it wasn't bigger than what I was making. In other, if I was on the Kardashian show, it would have given me a hell of a lot more exposure. It would have exposed, having a lot of exposure. It would have exposed me in a way that money couldn't buy, but the money would not have been worth, the fame would not have been worth what I was making at the time. So if I can balance, the temptation of celebrityism or, fame, if I can balance fame and tangible success, I think anybody can. Because it's hard to say no to fame. It's hard to understand, and it was hard for me, Dr. Stan. You know me when I was living in Hollywood. I don't know anybody, and I'm not saying this to exaggerate, or even I'm not even saying this to brag on myself. I'm saying it because it's the truth. I don't know anybody who has balanced those two worlds together better than I have, publicly. If you Google Johnny Wimbrey, you're going to see Johnny Wimbrey, the personality, and you're going to see Johnny Wimbrey, the multi-million-dollar network marketer, but you won't see those two. You won't see them cross over. However, no one can deny they complement each other. So you've got to balance it in a way where you are super confident about what you represent. The only reason that you would be ashamed to say, hey, I'm a multi-level marketer is because you don't really understand what it means. You have allowed somebody else's opinion to become your reality. And my reality is I've made millions. My reality is I've helped so many people who were broke the day I met them become millionaires, and over 100 of them becoming over six figures a year annually for multiple years consistently. The reason I don't run from the word multi-level marketing is if I walked up to any 10-year-old, and I asked them, Dr. Stan, I pointed out at a building, a 50-story building, skyscraper, whatever it is, in any city in the world, and I say, little girl, you see that tall building right there? Every floor of that building, people are working. And the people at the top of that building are typically executives running what's going on in this entire building. I said, if you had a job in this building, would you want to make money on one level or multi-levels? That 10-year-old would look at me like I'm crazy and say, well, I'd like to make money on multiple levels of what's going on in that building. Exactly. Nobody in their right mind would choose one-level marketing versus multi-level marketing. The only reason you will run for multi-level marketing is because your Uncle Cornbread, who was in that one company that wasn't passionate about it, but every time you were there, he acted like he cared about your health. He acted like he cared about your electricity. He acted like he cared about your water or whatever it is, and it just wasn't true. And that runs people away. It runs people away because you're not authentic to your opportunity. You're authentic to the income, but you're not authentic to the opportunity. I love network marketing. When I see people who are authentic to the opportunity, that gets me excited. And I think that's how I balance it and I make both sides work because I am authentic to both sides.
Wow. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've said for years it ticks some people off. I've never been a network marketer per se. I've just been a networker who has leveraged marketing. And that makes the world of difference. And that obviously is what you've done. And I always tell people, anybody you see successful in home-based business, that really is what they've done in the truest sense. Mm-hmm. But Johnny, tell us, so you've had some bumps in life, everybody has, and I always tell people behind the glory, there's always a story, right? I posted on Facebook the other day, you might know my name, but you don't know my story. So how did you get out of, tell us about a hard time, what did you do to get out of it or to break through that time?
Dr. Stan, I lifted weights very early in life. And I believe all of us, we're going to lift weights. We're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if I ask you, you're the breakthrough expert, you're the breakthrough coach. How do you know when you have a great workout? Well, you typically are complaining about how sore you are. That's really how you measure, especially men. That's how we measure, our workout. And women too. But we got this manly thing. The more pain we bring on ourselves, that's a better workout. Well, I measure my mental, emotional workout by things that I went through in my life. One of the most tragic situations that caught my attention. I can't say the most tragic situation I've ever seen or been through, but really caught my attention is, I was 18 years old. I was a junior in high school. I'm a year behind in school. One of my homeboys were murdered. And sadly, it wasn't my first friend murdered. But this one made a difference because I knew the guy who killed him. And long story short, we all planned the night of the wake, me and my boys. We were going to retaliate after we paid respect. And here I am sitting in a church, and the mother of my homeboy stood in front of the casket, and she said, I forgive the young man who killed my son. Now, I don't know this level of forgiveness. I can't relate at this point. But I can tell you that it was the most mature moment that I've ever had because my friends were sitting right next to me. They didn't have the moment I have. For some reason, God had me at a point where I was open, I was transparent, and I was hungry for something When his mother said that, I thought to myself, well, I don't love him like that. I mean, if the mother has already found forgiveness, who am I to go retaliate? Like, I had this level of guilt, like I was betraying her. So think about that: an 18-year-old sitting in a church with a gun, and I just happen to be paying attention. Like, there's somebody who's listening to me right now, Dr. Stan, who's paying attention. And there are hundreds of people who are listening to me right now that I don't know, but there's one person that's listening. And I was that one person. I walked up and I asked the preacher, I said, "Can you meet me outside?" He said, "Yes." And I gave my gun to the preacher outside, and he looked at me and he said, "You know, you're not going to get this back, right?" And I said, "Yes, sir." That was a major moment of me participating in my own rescue. So there are multiple things that have happened in my life, but 100% of all the victories that I've ever had is when I participated in my rescue. I wasn't waiting for God. I wasn't waiting, for any miracle. I was starting the process to meet my miracle wherever it was. And I think that's the thing, man. You've got to start the process of walking towards your miracle and stop waiting for your miracle. I get on my knees to pray, but I get up to go to work. And that was one of the major things in my life where I realized, Dr. Stan, God was dangling the carrot, but he wanted me to walk to it.
Well, Coach 100K, I'm going to bring you out. Johnny's got to get ready to go. And Johnny, I wrote a formula for success that you just described. It's WPHH, wake up, pray, hustle honestly. Come on, somebody. Coach 100K.
I love it. I love that, man.
Well, you live it. Hey, Coach, let's see. You got a quick question, man? We got about 2 minutes.
Man, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank him. I was listening intently because he was talking my story, and Dr. Breakthrough, multiple streams. He was just speaking it. And I'll tell you this, Johnny, I've never heard anybody articulate my life like you did. I mean, people ask me those same questions. They have no same questions. I didn't have the answer because I was like, well, what is wrong with me? I'm successful here. I'm doing that. I can't. Why don't you sit down somewhere and But I don't. Keep moving. And I couldn't answer that question until hearing you. And so you really blessed me, my brother.
That's so good, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. And, my relationship with Dr. Stan, goes beyond a decade. I've seen what he's done. I've seen his passion. And it's a really good example of someone who has used, what they've mastered to create breakthrough and edutainment in people's lives. Because when you see Dr. Stan live, you get caught up into the entertainment part of it, but there's no way you're not going to walk out with a breakthrough. And I think that's a really good example of balancing your passion while walking in your purpose